Am I the asshole for ripping off my neighbor's roof tiles off to satisfy my kink of putting roof tiles up my anus? I, 54M, live alone in a remote area. My new neighbor had moved in pretty recently, and I noticed they'd begun construction on the house. All of the houses in my neighborhood had wooden roofs, although the roof my neighbor was installing seemed odd. I looked it up, and oh my god. Once I clicked on the images, I felt the blood rush to my little guy. It was as if I could come on the spot. Their curviness, the terracotta color, everything was so erotic. I found myself touching my lower regions. I knew it was wrong, but it felt so good. The next day, my neighbor's roof was still being installed. I had an excellent idea. I grabbed the ladder from my garage and sneakily brought it over to their house. While avoiding the cameras and guard dogs, I climbed on top of their roof. Lord have mercy. I was dripping the second I saw those tiles in real life. No longer keeping my excitement, I began forcefully ripping off a few tiles. I needed to use them now. I couldn't wait. I pulled my pants down. You can guess what happened next by the title. I shoved 4.5 roof tiles up my anus. It felt so good. No man or woman had ever pleasured me like this. My moans and whimpers were so loud, my neighbor eventually came out of his house to see cum dripping off his roof, with 4.5 of his roof tiles shoved up my anus. He called the cops on me. They didn't want to touch me, so they couldn't arrest me, right? That was my plan until one of the officers informed me their prison had roof tiles similar to the ones shoved up my anus. I got down and let them arrest me. Because the officers were so repulsed by the 4.5 roof tiles shoved up my anus, I went the whole drive to prison with 4.5 roof tiles shoved up my anus. I was charged with public nudity, exposure to a minor, my neighbor's 4-year-old daughter had seen me, and indecency. I'm now going to prison for 8 years. So, Reddit, am I the asshole? My moans and whimpers were so loud, my neighbor eventually came out of his house to see cum dripping off of his roof with a 4.5 foot. My moans and whimpers were so loud, my neighbor eventually came out of his house to see cum dripping off his roof with 4.5 of his roof tiles